Now, the banking environment is changing, with the big four banks facing challenges to their market share and profits. Technology is also changing banking, impacting on the relationship between banks and customers. Tonight, in our personal finance segment, we take a look at how the country's banks are using technology and data to service their clients. Pierre Fourie, Director of Financial Services Audit at KPMG, joining me now to discuss this. Pierre, thank you so much for the time. How big an impact really is data and technology really having on banking?
The whole industry is changing radically at the moment. Just the story you had now on Stokvels are showing some of the innovation that's happening in the industry. Because it's all about making administration easier and bringing customer centricity on the other side to a much higher level. In the end, the customer needs to benefit, and the customer needs to have an easier interface with the bank.
With this, however, as much as it may seem like good news, surely the risk of intrusion comes in as well.
Intrusion is definitely one of the biggest risks. If you talk globally, cybersecurity is the buzzword in the industry. And everything needs to be protected, walls built. But the problem is you cannot protect quickly enough to entice the whole industry away from the innovation. So innovation needs to be almost quicker than the threat on the other side.
Every single day, however, our needs change.
Absolutely.
Do you think we're keeping up, or we're able to keep up with consumer needs?
That's the biggest problem the banks are struggling with, especially the more established, larger banks. Just saw a quote earlier of the week that the bigger you are, the more difficult it is to innovate. And that's where some of the banks are struggling. Some of them have legacy systems that's 20, 30 years old. That doesn't change overnight. And we've seen where new implementations have been done, and newer banks are able to quickly anticipate the need, quickly develop something, and with the relationships and also interactions with the fintech companies, you are able to come to the market so much quicker.
How do you know, however, that at this point you need to take on a particular trend, or it's just something that somebody has said and it really won't work in the market?
That's the biggest problem. The more success stories, the more failures there are. But you need to continue to be on the front edge. Because if you don't continue, you are going to have a Kodak moment of innovating yourselves out of the marketplace.
Capitec right now has a story where essentially you apply for a short-term loan with the company, and after applying once, you have access to that loan pretty much for 12 times after that, and you really don't have to do much with regards to reapplication, etc., according to Summit Financial Partners anyway. How surely that becomes an issue as well, the fact that those apps themselves then become big credit providers because the bank just wants to simplify things.
That is a problem, and I'm not going to talk around the Capitec story in itself, but what you need to be doing whenever going out to the market, regulations is important. The compliance risk in this industry is significant. We have seen in the international market significant fines and even banks going under as a result of non-compliance, be it on the KYC side, AML side, or broader in the credit environment. Now, in the South African environment, with Advocate Pillay, you talked earlier, it is so critical that you get affordability assessments right. Now, the banks are spending significant amount of money to get it right, but unfortunately, technology needs to enable to do that, but hasn't reached that ultimate pinnacle as yet.
Pierre, thank you so much for your time. Really interesting chat there. Technology trying to keep up with the daily needs of consumers in the banking industry. Pierre Fourie, who is director at KPMG. Now, South Africa's much anticipated tourism indaba takes place in Durban this weekend. A key focus this year is the promotion of small and medium-sized tourism entrepreneurs. Moneyline has profiled some of these businesses in the lead up to the trade show.
Leon